Everybody, hello and welcome to another lesson on Nick Does Algos. In this lesson, we'll be covering the Hackerrank easy rated algorithm. I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't know why Hackerrank went through the trouble to use this name and abbreviate birthday with an apostrophe, but this is Taum and Bidet, according to whoever wrote this. So it is Taum's friend's birthday. Taum's friend Diksha. It is their birthday. And there are two different kinds of gifts that Diksha wants from Taum. One is black, the other is white. To make her happy, Taum has to buy B black gifts and W white gifts. So, weird question, really normal question, weird names chosen, and weird scenario. This is what you call an arbitrage scenario. You have two different items at two different costs. Uh, the black items and the white items each have their own individual cost. Black here is cost 3 for each black item, and white here costs 4 for each white item. And you actually have the option to exchange the item for a cost of 1. So if you bought a black item, you could convert it to a white item for an additional 1 cost. In this scenario, there is no advantage to that arbitrage because that makes the white cost and black cost actually be equal. And if you were to take a white item and convert it to a black item, well, then for some reason you just spent $5. You actually cost yourself more money to make that conversion than if you were to just go ahead and buy the black one initially. So if you bought all black ones and converted them to white ones in this scenario, that would be the same as if you just bought the appropriate amount of black ones and white ones because of the dollar that it costs to convert them, making the cost of the converted black ones to white ones the same as if you just bought white ones. So a little confusing, but I hope you're following. This is Finance 101 and a valuable skill to know if you want to save yourself some money throughout your life. But let's go ahead and pop over to Replit and start to get to work. So we've got some information transposed over. We have 3 black items that we'll be looking to buy, 6 white items. Black items cost 9 and white items cost 1, and the conversion rate is 1. So here you can tell that we're probably going to want to buy a bunch of white items because white items come in really cheap, and it only costs one additional, let's call it dollar, $1 to convert a white item to a black item. So that probably sounds like a pretty good deal, but let's see how it plays out. How would we actually go about solving this problem? Well, obviously we would like to store a variable called cost. And at the end, oh, I guess I should cover that. We will simply return the lowest cost possible. So we'll write some conditional statements that will determine the lowest cost possible, and then we will return that value at the end of our function. Okay, so of course we're going to want to store the value or store the cost that we'll keep track of, and then from there write a couple conditional statements. So what is actually happening here? It's some pretty simple math, but of course we want to write it simply. We want it to be written clearly so we can understand it and implement it as we wish. So the first statement, let's say that actually first let's determine what would cause the most beneficial scenario here. So we would probably like to buy, looks like we have 9 items. We'll want 9 items. We'll buy 6 whites, absolutely. But it looks like we'll want to buy 9 whites at the cost of $1 and then convert 3 of those 9 to blacks for a cost of 1 each. So how would we write that programmatically? So we would say if the cost of Um, WC, the white cost, if WC plus Z is cheaper than BC, we'll want to buy all of our items at the WC and then do our conversion from our white to our black. So that means that we would buy, like I just said, all 9 items, all black items and white, the total value of our black items and white items at the white cost, and then convert the um, three whites to 3 blacks for the cost of 1 each. So programmatically, like I said, how would we want to write that? Well, it would be if white cost plus Z, our conversion rate, is less than BC, we'll want to do something. So that's our condition. If the cost of buying the items at the white cost and converting them at our conversion rate is less than just buying at the black cost, we'll want to buy everything at the white cost, and then for our specific instances, do a conversion at our conversion rate of Z. Okay, so we've got our condition. Now what do we do? Well, we'll obviously be updating our cost variable, and cost will equal what? Well, we'll take all of our items, the sum of all of our items, which is B plus W. In this case, that would be 9. B plus W would be 9. And we'll multiply that by the rate that we're paying, because we're going to buy them. We're technically going to buy all white items at the white cost. And then we will add the cost that it would, the value that it would cost us to convert our white items into black items, which could be written as B times Z, because we have B items that need to be converted, so we will multiply that by our conversion rate of Z and add that to the initial cost of just buying all of our white items. Okay, hope that's making sense. Hope it's clear. If not, write it down a couple times, think about it a little bit. I'm sure it will start to click. And now, of course, what is our contradictive scenario to that scenario? Well, we can write an elif statement. Elif BC plus Z is less than WC. This is just the other scenario. If the black cost plus the conversion rate is less than the white cost, we'll go ahead and do nearly the identical mathematics. We will multiply at the black cost, though, not the white cost, and then at the end we will add W times Z, because we will be converting the number of white items to black items. And that satisfies our 2 scenarios where there is a beneficial arbitrage. But what if there isn't a beneficial arbitrage? Basically, that means that these costs might be the same. Black cost and white cost might be identical, or black cost plus our conversion rate is equal to white cost. But really, all we would need to do is just write an else statement, and that would satisfy any other scenario. And we could write what would happen here. Well, you could actually write this. You could probably write this in a more simple fashion, but let's just write the obvious B times BC, black times our black cost. Well, that's how much that's going to cost, plus our white times our white cost. And there you go. For each of those conditions, we have stored a value for our cost. And of course, what happens at the end, we will want to print that value. I actually don't know what this value is supposed to be. It looks like it would be 12. Let's go ahead and copy this over to Hackerrank, paste it into Hackerrank, turn our print to a return, get rid of these junky parentheses. Let's go ahead and pop everybody over. Looks like that format looks good, and run our code. Okay, awesome. Pass our sample test cases, should pass our test cases, and look at that, we do. Nice. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to pop them down in the comments below. This is definitely one of the more simple questions that you could be presented, and if you are interviewing at Google, they probably won't give this to you. But hey, good to know. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. We cover algos just about every day. If that's where you are at in this point in your life, your career, go ahead and hit subscribe. And thank you for watching.